When you look at people who rise far above the limitations of their environment, you'll notice something strange about them. They walk through life as if an invisible force is pulling them forward. They're not reacting to circumstances, they're bending circumstances around their decisions. And the greatest wealth they build isn't money. It's the unstoppable mindset that makes money a natural byproduct. Billionaires aren't born with superpowers. They cultivate subtle habits so deeply that those habits begin communicating silently with the universe, attracting opportunities long before anyone else can sense them. It's almost like a telepathic agreement between their intention and the flow of life. And if you learn to tap into that same frequency, you won't just change your income, you'll change your destiny. They begin each morning with an unreasonable level of clarity, while everyone else wakes up negotiating with their doubts. They train their minds to speak the language of expansion, not limitation. They don't ask what is possible today. They ask, what can I create today that didn't exist yesterday? And that simple shift places them in the driver's seat of reality. When their mind starts a conversation with the universe through relentless intention, the universe replies by opening pathways that ordinary thinkers never notice. They move like someone who already knows that hidden doors are waiting for them. And that confidence itself becomes a magnet for miracles. Opportunities seem to find them because their inner state commands opportunities to appear. But the real secret is this: they don't chase speed, they chase direction. Most people run fast, but toward distractions. Billionaires move steadily, but with laser accuracy, aligning every action with a future vision so vivid it feels more real than the present. This vision becomes an emotional engine, something that whispers to them in quiet moments, reminding them that their purpose is larger than any setback. And when setbacks come, and they always do, they treat them like stepping stones placed there intentionally to sharpen them. They almost develop a spiritual stubbornness, a refusal to break, a refusal to shrink, a refusal to stop communicating with that higher direction that keeps pulling them forward. They also practice a habit the world rarely talks about, the habit of turning silence into strategy. While others fear stillness, they embrace it because they understand that silence is where the mind reveals solutions too subtle to hear in noise. In silence, they sense the movements of their competitors before those competitors even make a move. They sense shifts in markets before the market shifts. And they sense strengths within themselves that even they didn't know existed. It feels like intuition, but it's actually deep alignment. Alignment created through years of listening, internally more than they listen externally. That inner listening becomes a telepathic compass, pointing them toward decisions that seem impossible to outsiders, but obvious to them. And yet, despite the pressure, they hold a playful relationship with challenges. They don't take failure personally, they take it as feedback. They don't react with fear, they respond with curiosity. And with each step forward, they tell the universe, I am ready for more. Test me, stretch me, expand me. That bold declaration turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Suddenly, ideas start arriving out of nowhere. People start showing up at the right time, and resources begin aligning as if guided by an unseen hand. This isn't luck. It's the natural consequence of inner conviction meeting outer action. It's the dance between belief and effort. And the more they grow, the quieter their ego becomes. They don't need to prove anything. The results speak for them. They understand that humility keeps them learning while arrogance keeps others stuck. And with that humility comes an infinite hunger, not for wealth, but for growth, for mastery, for the fulfillment that comes from turning potential into reality. They wake up every day obsessed with who they are becoming, not just what they are earning. That obsession fuels a momentum so powerful that once it starts, it becomes almost impossible to stop. They move through life with an energy that doesn't negotiate with excuses. When something matters to them, they don't wait for motivation. They create momentum through discipline. So consistent, it becomes a personality trait. And this discipline isn't harsh, it's empowering. It's the kind that tells the mind, we are in charge here, and suddenly the universe begins to match that frequency. You've felt this before. Those rare days when your intention was so strong that everything seemed to align effortlessly. Billionaires live in that state deliberately. They train themselves to enter that vibration on command. until manifestation is no longer a concept but a habit, a natural outcome of who they choose to be every single day. There's another invisible habit they carry, the habit of expanding their reality through bold questions. While most people ask, how do I earn more? They ask, how do I create something that reshapes lives? And because their question is bigger, the universe responds with bigger answers. They don't think in terms of hours or effort. They think in terms of ecosystems, ripple effects, chains of impact stretching far beyond themselves. This is why they appear fearless, not because they lack fear, but because their vision is too large for fear to threaten. Their purpose is simply heavier than their doubt. And the mind always bends toward the weight of whatever you carry most strongly. They also carry a relentless habit of self-conviction. Even when nobody believes in them, they speak to themselves as if they already know the ending of the story. And that conviction becomes so strong that people eventually begin to feel it too. It radiates from their voice, their presence, their decisions. You can hear it when they speak. There's no hesitation, no emotional wobble, just a calm certainty that they will reach the place they've decided to reach. This certainty is a form of telepathic communication with reality itself, sending out a message, prepare the road, I am coming. And reality listens. When challenges rise, they don't fight with panic. They step back and observe because they understand that the mind sees more when it isn't drowning in emotion. They look at obstacles almost like puzzles designed specifically for their growth. And they never miss the lesson because they believe every barrier contains a hidden instruction for their next level. Most people get stuck because they want the progress without the discomfort. Billionaires have accepted that discomfort is the price of elevation. They're not surprised by it, not intimidated by it, and never defeated by it. They know the universe doesn't test the weak. It tests the ones it's preparing for something larger. Another secret habit is their ability to convert pressure into creativity. When the world tightens around them, they expand from within. They use stress as fuel, turning it into sharper insight, higher focus, and more daring ideas. Pressure doesn't shrink them, it shapes them. And because of that, they evolve faster, learn deeper, and adapt more intelligently than the average person. It's not that they have more opportunities, it's that they extract more from every opportunity life throws at them. And the truth is, their habits aren't mystical. They're simply practiced with a level of consistency ordinary people refuse to match. They understand that greatness is built in silent hours, in unseen efforts, in choices made when no one is watching. And with every silent victory, their confidence grows. With every small promise kept to themselves, their destiny shifts. With every step taken in alignment with a larger purpose, their life moves into a different dimension, one where success becomes less of a chase and more of an unfolding. They develop a habit of emotional independence, a rare ability to move forward without waiting for someone to clap for them. They don't need validation to take action, and they don't need applause to keep going. Their internal world is so deeply trained that encouragement becomes a bonus, not a requirement. When people doubt them, they use it as data. When people laugh at their dreams, it sharpens their focus. When people leave, they don't collapse, they evolve. This emotional independence becomes a superpower because it frees them from the emotional gravity that keeps most people stuck. They rise because nothing inside them pulls them down. And the more they rise, the more they begin to sense opportunities before they are visible. This is not luck, it's awareness. While others look at life through the narrow lens of survival, they see patterns, timing, energy shifts, signals that guide them toward decisions others consider impossible. It feels like intuition, but in reality, it's deep familiarity with growth. They have spent so many years stretching beyond their previous limits that they can now feel when the next breakthrough is near. They trust those signals with absolute faith, stepping into the unknown with a calmness that feels almost supernatural. They already feel connected to the future they're walking toward, as if their success is calling them rather than the other way around. In their conversations, you'll notice something powerful. They speak from the future, not the present. They talk about goals as if they have already happened. They don't speak with hope, they speak with certainty. And this language rewires their subconscious. It forces their reality to shift because the mind obeys the words you consistently feed it. They speak life into their ideas until those ideas grow strong enough to stand on their own. They visualize outcomes so clearly that the universe has no choice but to align with that clarity. Their words become commands. Their thoughts become blueprints. Their beliefs become engines that pull them forward even on the days they feel tired. Another subtle habit they embody is the ability to detach from noise. They don't waste their days arguing, complaining, proving, or pleasing. They guard their energy with the fierceness of someone who understands its value. They know that every distraction has a cost. Every emotional reaction has a price, and every unnecessary conversation steals bandwidth from their future. So they choose silence where others choose drama. They choose progress where others choose comfort. They choose creation where others choose entertainment. This discipline with energy is what multiplies their output while others remain stuck in cycles of mental exhaustion. And perhaps the most profound habit of all is their relationship with failure. They don't run from it. They run toward it, knowing it contains the information they need to evolve. When something goes wrong, they don't emotionally collapse. They analyze, they adjust, they adapt. They come back with sharper insight, deeper wisdom, and a stronger strategy. Every failure becomes a recalibration, and every recalibration brings them closer to mastery. Over time, this habit turns them into individuals who cannot be defeated, only refined, and in the quiet moments when the world isn't watching, they reaffirm their identity, not who they were yesterday, not who people think they are today, but who they are becoming. They talk to themselves like someone sculpting a future version of their soul. They remind themselves why they started, what they're building, and how far they're willing to go. Their inner dialogue becomes a constant stream of empowerment, and that inner voice becomes their greatest ally on the journey. They don't wait for destiny. They build it with intention, discipline, and a vision so powerful that nothing can stand in its way. They understand the secret law that most people never realize. Identity creates destiny. Not goals, not motivation, not even talent. Identity. Who you believe you are determines what you allow yourself to attempt. Billionaires shape their identity with deliberate precision. They decide who they are long before the world agrees. They speak to themselves like creators, not survivors. They make decisions from the mindset of someone who already has the results. And because the mind hates conflict, it begins aligning thoughts, behaviors, and habits with that elevated identity. Slowly, the person they decided to be becomes the person they actually are. This internal evolution is what makes their external success inevitable. They also cultivate the habit of moving with gratitude and ambition at the same time, a balance that keeps them grounded yet hungry. Gratitude attracts abundance, ambition multiplies it. They are grateful for every opportunity, every lesson, every failure that shaped them, because they see meaning in all of it. And yet, they never settle. They live in a constant state of becoming. They respect the journey while relentlessly expanding it. This combination creates an unstoppable emotional chemistry, calm, confident, driven, and aware. It gives them the patience to wait for the right moment and the courage to seize it when it arrives. When they interact with people, they do something extraordinary. They see potential before others see it in themselves. They understand that empowering others creates networks of loyalty and opportunity that no amount of money can buy. They invest in relationships, not transactions. They build communities of belief, circles of growth-minded individuals who stretch each other into new dimensions. Their influence grows not because they demand it, but because they inspire it. People follow them because being around them makes life feel bigger, clearer, more possible. And this is why opportunities continue flowing to them long after they've achieved success. Their presence itself becomes a catalyst for progress. They also master the habit of living slightly ahead of time. Not in a mystical sense, but in awareness. While most people react to trends, they anticipate them. While others see problems, they see openings. While others fear change, they prepare for it. They treat change as a wave, not a threat. And because they ride the wave instead of resisting it, change becomes their greatest ally. This is why their decisions often look bold at first and brilliant in hindsight. They trust their ability to adapt faster than the world shifts. And through all of this, they maintain a fierce loyalty to their long-term vision. Nothing pulls them away from it, not pressure, not doubt, not difficulty, not the noise of opinions. Their vision becomes a living force, something that whispers guidance, fuels discipline, and keeps them steady even when the path feels uncertain. They revisit that vision daily, feeding it, strengthening it, aligning with it until it becomes inseparable from their identity. And once the vision and the identity merge, success becomes a natural extension of who they are, not something they chase. They walk through life with the understanding that the universe responds to certainty. And so they cultivate certainty from within. They understand that every thought carries a vibration, every belief carries a signature, and every action sends a message to the future. So they choose each one with intention. They choose thoughts that elevate, beliefs that empower, and actions that align with greatness. And slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the world bends in their favor. Not because they are lucky, but because they became the kind of person the universe loves to reward. Their journey proves one truth that anyone can adopt. When your inner world becomes powerful, your outer world has no choice but to follow.